out right now, and I'm in full tuck doing 75 mile an hour down the highway. So the local Harley dealership, 80 Faro, is having their annual polar bear run, and it's about 35 minutes away from my house. So got up, got ready, and we're heading there now. So if you can't see anything through my fairing, yeah, don't worry, I can't either. But anyway, Happy New Year. I was super lame. I didn't party for New Year's. I was in bed by like 10. Nah, I went to bed at 11. Fell asleep at 11:55 and then was awoken at midnight because of fireworks. So I technically rang in the New Year with everyone else. I was just in my jammies in bed. So I've never been on a run like this. I'm not with anyone. I'm by myself. I don't know anyone there except some people on Instagram. So should be interesting. Pro tip for anyone wanting to do a cold ride like this. You really want to work up a sweat before hopping on the bike? Just put your chaps on. Jesus. I fought with these things for like 20 minutes before I finally just had to ask my husband, like, can you help zip me up? These things fit so stupid. I hate chaps, but they sure do help against the cold. So I hope the audio is good in this. I don't know if you can see, there's a little fuzzy thing right in front of my face. I bought a new little dead cat to help reduce wind noise, and I finally plugged up the mesh in my helmet. See if that helps with anything. Just to keep this little intro short and sweet, I'm going to go ahead and shut the GoPros off and just keep bombing it in full talk until we get to our destination. I think I got 25 minutes of this. Let's time travel and not be freezing cold anymore. So, see ya. Alright. Finally just got off the highway. And I'm trying to figure out how to get to this place. There's so much like salt on the road. It's gonna be fun cleaning my bike. Oh, there's First Watch. That's brand new. That was not here the last time I was here. Fingers are frozen. Visor is condensating. There we go. Alright. These chaps did a good job, but I'm still a popsicle. Would not recommend riding in freezing temperatures without heated gear, but I've done worse things. Where am I going? Straight. I'm gonna get over here. Sorry, everybody. And this lane ends in a half a mile, and I have to turn right in 1 mile, so hurry on up, Buttercup. Yesterday, it was like sleeting and snowing and terrible. And today the roads are still a little wet, but definitely in better shape than the past couple days. Oh, my fingertips. Ow. God, even North Star is open. Everything's open. Should probably pay attention to where I'm going. Is that this one? Is that this one? Can't see. Oh, college. That was it. Hi, doggy. Oh, you little boxer. Oh, I love boxers. There's more doggies. Good boy. And there's one right there. Chasing squirrels. Good boy. Pretty sure both of those dogs were girls, but they're good boys in my mind. That's a hole. It's a good boy. So many doggos. It's the best day ever. 2020 is off to a fantastic start. Except I might be suffering hypothermia. We made it. Holy hell, that was cold. Alright. Say hi! Okay. See you guys. Okay. just long enough to get warmed up. And now we're gonna head home. And my visor's fogging up again. I don't know where my GPS is taking me. This is certainly not the way it took to get here. Did I forget to turn off, like, no highways? I don't think so. Yeah, it says 31 minutes still, so why didn't it take me this way getting here? That would have been nice. Anyway, that was a fun ride. I didn't film in there because it was just a bunch of people enjoying breakfast and hanging out with each other. There was like door prizes, but I did get a little pin for my very first polar bear run and got to hang out with some great new friends, so that's exciting. It's New Year's Day, as I mentioned earlier. Dude, I'm so excited 2019 is over. It wasn't even a bad year for me. I just kind of always think that way on December 31st, you know, New Year's Eve. I'm just like, God, hurry up and just get it over with. I'm ready to move on. I'm ready for spring. I think that's all it really comes down to. But seriously, that's all it comes down to. Is it's like everyone's all New Year's Eve, new me, blah, blah, blah. I can't wait. I'm just freezing, trying to make it to spring, not having a good time. I go to bed at like 9 o'clock every night. Like, I didn't stay up for celebrations. Said celebrations woke me up. Alright, it's not that fast through here. There's more bikers. That's certainly one thing you're not anticipating seeing on New Year's Day is in Ohio. Not anticipating seeing motorcyclists. I have had a few questions from a couple women asking, you know, just basically saying like, I love your videos. I'm so happy I found your channel, and like, you've either inspired me to ride or you have inspired me to get back on my bike, which I think I've talked about before, but I don't really think I've talked about just how terrifying it is to learn something completely new and completely foreign, and how the people that you surround yourself with need to be 100% supportive of that decision and encourage you. And they also need to tell you the truth. Like, if it's not meant for you, and I did mention that in my Q&A video, if somebody is peer pressuring you to ride your own motorcycle because they don't want you on their bike anymore, please genuinely think about if this is something you want to do, because this is a very dangerous hobby if you are not good at it. You know, it's not like you're learning how to bake and like, yeah, maybe you could burn your house down, but the likelihood of that, not very high. So I just kind of wanted to ramble. This isn't going to be some philosophical conversation, but I kind of want to ramble, and this is for men and women, primarily women, because I'm a woman and I experience this personally. The fear and anxiety when you are first learning how to ride a motorcycle is one of the scariest things I've ever experienced in my life. And the number one thing they tell you to do when you're learning how to ride is you need to be in a good headspace. So if you're not in a great headspace, your riding is going to be affected. And my mom can attest to that, you know. She struggled really hard learning how to maneuver her bike and turn, like make corners smoothly, and friction control, throttle control, and all of that stuff. Sorry, I'm trailing off here. I'm listening to my GPS. I know how to get home, but when she starts talking to me, I instinctively shut up and listen. Yeah, especially for you men watching, because I know like 90% of the people watching my channel are men, and that's cool. Like, I watch a lot of channels with my husband, and so the content creators that I watch don't actually know that there's women watching their channel too, so I don't mind either way. But I will say, I've mentioned it before in previous videos, I know women that gave up riding, and not necessarily women who it was their life's goal or their bucket list item to learn how to ride a motorcycle, but women that just gave up because of their sheer discouragement from the men in their life or other people in their life saying like, I don't know why you want to do this, this is dangerous, you're doing it wrong, or, you know, just not being supportive and constructive with them. So for me personally, there was nobody else when I was learning how to ride. I was by myself. I was out riding on the roads by myself with traffic. And I remember one of the very first mistakes I made was I was going up a hill. Like, I turned down the wrong road, first of all, and I had to go up this hill and make a right-hand turn, which something about right-hand turns for me, I think it's because you're turning right with the hand that you're using to control the throttle. But the right-hand turn was so hard for me to like comprehend and grasp. And not only was I on this hill, that I was, needing to practice my friction control in the friction zone with the clutch, but there was a freaking car like on my ass right behind me. So I was terrified I was going to roll back. I was terrified I was going to drop the bike. I was terrified I wasn't going to be able to make the turn or stall out. And like, I think that was one of the scariest moments in my riding history. And I've literally almost been ran off the road by semi-trucks before, and still to this day, I think it was the thought that I was going to roll down a freaking 6-foot hill into a Honda Civic behind me. That was the scariest moment of my riding career. And that just goes to show you how damaging anxiety is. I would have sleepless nights thinking of, okay, I know I have to get up and practice again tomorrow. Where am I going to take it? I have to take real roads just to get to the parking lot to practice. And it was seriously so scary. So personally, some of the ways that I overcame that anxiety was just like actually physically getting out and riding every single day. I would go out, start the bike, even listen to it, sit on it, like just learn how it feels and start getting used to the idea like, this is my motorcycle. It's just you and me. We're in this together. I bought you. You're good for me. And we're going to learn a lot. I seriously treat my bike like it's a little freaking horsey, like out in the garage. I'm like, oh, let's go see Nox and go pet her pretty fairing. My bike's name is Nox, by the way, Nox. She's a lady. So that's just, I kind of started treating my bike like it was my best friend. And so even making like stupid punny jokes like, oh, I'm going to go hang out with Nox or Lady Bob, or I'm going to go hang out with my best friend, or stuff like that, like seriously started switching it psychologically for me, making me excited to go ride. And then, like I said, actually riding every single day, I got better and better and better. And once you learn the controls of your bike and you start feeling more confident on your machine, that's when you're going to start trusting yourself more. It's seriously self-doubt, especially if you're riding with someone who has been riding for decades and they just don't understand why you're struggling so much. It was very, very discouraging when I would go riding with someone, but they've been riding like since they were 5 years old. Their parents like lived out on a farm. They had little dirt bikes and they just have never not known life on not on a motorcycle. And so they're like, why is this so hard for you? Why is it so hard to make a corner or balance or back it up? And I was just like, it's so new to me. I'm not used to it. I've never experienced this before. I didn't grow up with motorcyclists, and I did not grow up with motorcyclists. I didn't know anyone that rode a motorcycle when I was a kid. So the fact that I'm now an adult and an avid motorcyclist is wild. I don't know. The sun's starting to come out. I guess what I'm trying to say, and I have seen a therapist before once, and it was the best decision I ever made, and it had nothing to do with motorcycles. It was, in fact, the first winter after buying my bike, that I really started suffering seasonal depression, and I had no idea why that was happening. But I truly knew, because I was overweight, I was unhappy, I had severe self-image issues, and I just learned how to ride a motorcycle, and I was having so much fun doing it, but I couldn't do it anymore because it was winter. So I finally went to go see a psychologist, the one that cannot prescribe you drugs, because I didn't want to take medication. I just wanted to talk to somebody and have them explain to me why I was feeling the way I was feeling. And I only saw this psychologist, whatever it is, I only saw them twice. I didn't need to go back for a third time, because literally the 2-hour long conversation I had with this person really helped fix my brain and really made me understand why I was thinking the way I was thinking. So he basically told me, are your worst critic. You need to be nicer to yourself. And I was like, that's the stupidest, like, juice drinking bullshit I have ever heard. But then I started thinking about, you know, if you've seen that saying online, where it's like, would you talk to your friends the way you talk to yourself? And it, like, made me remember how I spoke to myself, about myself, to my reflection in my own head while riding a motorcycle. And I was like, oh, wow, no, I would never in my life, to my worst enemy, say the things that I say to them that I tell myself. So that really kind of hit home. And then I started applying being nicer to myself in my real life. And the same thing happened when I was learning to ride. I just said, you know, the day will come when you drop your bike. The day will come when you stall out in the middle of an intersection. The day will come when I get into a crash. And those are all very real statistical fears that we all have. Some of us have just been way luckier than others to not experience those things immediately. So I don't want to freak any of you out, but this is just basically how I overcame my anxiety. I got out every single day. I practiced. I went further and further distances. And then the very first time I took the highway that I'm on now, first of all, my Shadow was a 600cc motor. It only had 4 gears, and it was fully, like, completely pegged out doing 70 miles an hour on this highway. So I didn't enjoy riding that bike on the highway. I could do like 55 mile an hour. That was fine. 60 was okay. But I didn't enjoy going fast speeds. So the very first time I took my bike out on the highway, I was terrified. I was all over the road. This place is like a wind tunnel. I mean, look, there's nothing. It's just constant wind and crosswinds. So I was so scared. And then I got to my destination. I met up with my friend I was meeting up with. And she just, like, basically told me, like, oh yeah, I can't believe you've never been on the highway before. And then sitting there, I was like, I can't believe I haven't either, because that wasn't too bad. It was scary. And then something about just acknowledging that I was afraid, but I did it, made the ride back home 1,000 times easier, even with the wind and the, like, annoying motor shaking, feeling like it's about to explode, pegging out. I think that's just how everyone gets better at anything we're struggling with. Be nice to yourself and be nice to other people. I get so excited when I get these messages saying, like, I got my license, I practiced, and I follow a lot of Facebook groups. There's a lot of really amazing Facebook groups, especially for women. If you're learning how to ride, do some research, find local Facebook groups, because like 90% of the other women in the riding community are not on Instagram, they're not on YouTube. They're older women that are doing this for the first time ever, and they're so proud of themselves for riding 2 miles down the road for the first time, or going to the grocery store on their motorcycle and picking up a jug of milk. You know, it's like the little things every single day that make riding exciting and learning new stuff every day is why I just kept doing it. And I remember following other women on Instagram, and, you know, they are like, oh, it's been 3 years since I started riding. It's been 5 years since I started riding. And I was just thinking, like, oh my gosh, you've been riding so long. Which obviously, that's not a long time at all. But seeing what they were doing and what they were achieving and how far they were riding, I was like, I can't wait to hit my 3-year anniversary or 5-year blah blah blah. And obviously it has nothing to do with the amount of time you have had a motorcycle or had your license. It's about what you do with it. And I rode as much as I could. I got better. I learned to trust my bike, and within 2 years I knew that my Shadow wasn't going to be the bike, my forever bike. I was like, I want to go farther, I want to do more things, and I want a bigger bike. So I tried out some bikes, which is linked in another video. You can check it out here if you want to see it. That's how I overcame my anxiety. And, like, don't be fooled, I still get anxious, especially on long trips. You know, you just don't want anything bad to happen. But I'm way, way better in my head. Because when you're on the bike, like, yeah, you may have GoPros, you may have Bluetooth, you may have a lot of things, but at the end of the day, it's just you and yourself in your head talking to like I said, that's not philosophical at all. That's just, I remember being so petrified and absolutely wrecked and devastated when I failed the Motorcycle Safety Foundation class. And at that point, it was all money. You know, I had spent money on a motorcycle that I couldn't ride, and just feeling that total devastation broke my soul, man. That was one of the worst days I've ever experienced, was the day I had to come home after spending 3 entire days learning how to do something and tell my husband, like, I failed. He was heartbroken for me. That was also the day I decided, like, okay, maybe you don't have your license, you still have your permit, you know how to physically drive this motorcycle. Take it out on the road and just drive it up the street and see how you do. And for anyone who's ever experienced this, you know, those little 250cc motorcycles that you learn on in the class are way smaller than any other bike you're probably gonna buy. And so I sat on my motorcycle that was maybe 500 pounds, and I thought it was a ton. It felt so big underneath me. And I hopped on that bike and I rode it up the street, and I'm pretty sure I probably almost dropped it because I didn't know how to turn it around because it was so heavy feeling. But that was the day I knew, like, okay, you don't have to sell this bike. You just need to practice. And that's what I did. Well, my right hand is almost completely numb, and I still have 10 minutes before I get home. Like I've said before, I don't want to keep sounding cryptic, but I think 2020 is going to be like one of the best years of my life for a lot of people. I think that it's going to be a great year for a lot of people. It has to be. So again, I'm not too philosophical on you. Let me know if you suffer like severe anxiety when you go ride, or if you used to suffer anxiety. Like, leave a comment, because I know a lot of people read through the comments, and that's what I do too. If I watch a video that personally relates to me, I read through the comments, and it makes me feel so much better how many other people struggle with the same thing that I struggled with. So tell me down below, like, what you overcame, or what some things that really hindered you, and how you just got better. Or if you didn't, like, if you tried to learn how to ride and it just scared you so bad that you gave up, that's fine. Well, so you can write about that too. It's not like no one's holding a gun to your head saying, like, you have to learn how to ride a motorcycle or we can't be friends anymore. At least not in my world. I wouldn't hang out with those people. I don't know how many times I can say it, but this is the last time. Thank you guys for watching. Happy New Year, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.